Ladies and gents, let's first of all cover the dashboard for Kaspa and of course overall news and sentiment and a couple of different charts, because I do believe that things are about to change very soon. Anyways guys, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. My name is Luke and remember that this video is not financial advice. Now, the market cap of Kaspa is sitting at 2.7 billion, the ranking is at 40, and volume is at 43.9 million. The price didn't really do a lot, okay? But of course, we cannot really associate, the value of the project with the price, okay? That's the first thing that I would like to point out. And now, if it comes to Kaspa being mined, we are sitting at 89.6%. Now guys, let's go right to something that I actually would like to read for you. So we got huge news for the market. Quantitative tightening could be ending soon. Of course, doesn't mean that it's ending, but it could be ending soon. If approved, the Federal Reserve would reduce or completely stop selling assets from their balance sheet. So there will be less selling pressure and more liquidity and money flowing into assets like stocks, bonds, and of course our beloved crypto. Interest rate cuts would then also be very possible in the near future. Bull run resumed. Let's see. Anyways guys, let's cover ETFs. So if it comes to BTC, as of yesterday we have outflows of 64.1 million. However, very interesting is that Ethereum is actually pumping, right? We got 4 days in a row of positive inflows for Ethereum, and as of yesterday, 19th of February, we are sitting at 19 mil. So guys, is this the change that I was talking about before? And I also do have a couple of different pieces that I guess will gonna confirm these theses. But anyways, let's have a look at the bubbles, right? So as of now, as of the time of recording this video, things are, let's say, recovering on a daily, but the question is, can we really truly trust this pump? Well, let's have a look at this piece of news. So big shout out to Mr. Ash. He says that a US SEC have acknowledged the 21 shares filling to allow staking for ETH spot ETF. Guys, this is a big thing. This is what the market is waiting for pretty much to resume this altcoin season, okay? Remember that Ethereum has to pump first, and I know that Ethereum looks like it's dead, okay? That's why many people gave up on crypto, but remember that many people are not making money in crypto, okay? So first of all guys, if Ethereum is going to see this, basically, if that is going to be approved and come into fruition, big money is going to flow into Ethereum, okay? And I don't mean 19 mil. And also we can see that ETH continue to witness more inflows, meanwhile huge outflows from Solana. It seems that people are getting tired of meme coins, which actually is a good thing finally. And guys, please remember that things have to happen, certain things have to happen in order for our Kaspa to pump, okay? So we are going to go into the charts of Kaspa short term, and of course we are going to basically find ourselves of where we are in this cycle, I believe. Now let's have a look at this, right? So huge accumulation going on Ethereum, and when it starts moving, it will be massive. So once we are going to see Bitcoin slowing down, Ethereum is going to pump or start pumping, and then large caps, which we could consider Kaspa to be large cap, we're going to start pumping with Ethereum, okay? Because the liquidity is going to be coming out of Ethereum, okay? Believe it or not, but these whales are accumulating now, okay? So the retail investors are basically going to be buying, while probably whales are going to be offloading and then pumping strong projects like Kaspa possibly, okay? So this is something very important to remember, just in case if you would like to keep your Kaspa safe outside of exchanges on which anything might happen, make sure that you check out Tangent Wallet. Tangent Wallet is definitely much better solution for storing your crypto outside of exchanges on which, who knows what will happen in the future, right? And make sure that you check it out, okay? With my discount code, you can get minus 10% off, and you also got minus 5% extra, right? So altogether is 15, and you can find the link below this video, in fact, okay? Now guys, let's go in here, okay? Because Ethereum is now where Bitcoin was in 2023. So the longer the consolidation, the longer the squeeze. And he's expecting a multi-month uptrend for Ethereum. Well, that would be amazing, okay? So that could potentially catapult some projects that are around 2 or 3 billion dollars, okay? Like Kaspa, for example, okay? And also this Musk Malls sending all Americans $5,000 checks using Doge savings. Guys, let me know, okay? Because many of you are Americans following my channel. Let me know, okay? If that is going to happen, okay? Because of course Elon, has discovered what US government has been doing under the table. Wow, no brainer. But anyways, they are planning to send that 5K checks to Americans, okay? And I believe that a lot of that money, the chunk of that money, just like the stimulus for Corona, right, will end up on the markets, okay? So let me know know, guys, if that is about to come into fruition or it's just a piece of news. Let me know in the comments down below. And now, guys, Crypto Rover is pointing out of where we are. Okay, so we are, let's say, around belief and thrill for Bitcoin, and our altcoins, well, Ethereum I believe is in here. It's an optimism, let's say, and you know, in this case where Kaspa potentially could be, right? Because of course that money is going to flow later. Again, hashtag you know, the path to altcoin season, and I believe that we are still, you know, relatively early, especially when Kaspa isn't really listed on Coinbase and Binance Spot. I mean, future obviously is coming, and to Coinbase, and we already got it for Binance. Nonetheless, guys, I don't want this to be fuel for you to degen into Kaspa. Okay, make sure that you do your due diligence and your own research before degening into any crypto. Okay, because I do hold multiple projects and I am not degening into only one. Okay, now, guys, let's go into liquidity, and then we are going to look at the chart of Kaspa and of course Bitcoin's dominance, so on and so forth. I do hope that I haven't lost you yet. Okay, now, guys, everybody's longing, okay, after this recent little pump for BTC. That's cool. Let me quickly have a look at the heat map. So if it comes to the heat map, guys, we do have liquidity above the current trading price, and that is at 98,184. However, we could also grab this liquidity at 96. Okay, so bear in mind that this is going to temporarily push the market towards the downside. Let's put our beloved Kaspa now, Binance Kaspa Perpetual, on a 24 hourly. So you see, guys, this is an often scenario with Kaspa on a daily, at least, is that, you know, Kaspa is trading sideways because the liquidity is pretty much, you know, in between. Okay, so Kaspa is basically doing, you know, ups and downs and all of this, and we don't see any significant surge because on a long time frame picture, Kaspa is in desperate search of liquidity, in my personal opinion. But of course that is going to change, I believe, in the future, right? So we could see the price of Kaspa as low as 10 cents to be exact, or as high as 11 cents 04. Okay, so let's actually have a look at the weekly now for our beloved Kaspa, and let's see what the heck is going on. So on a weekly, guys, we could see another shakiness again, 0.009, and then the highest level on a weekly we've got 11 cents 5. And now, guys, let's have a look at Kaspa for hourly. So stochastic RSI is basically an overheated level even on such a small time frame. Okay, so that kind of gives me a confidence that Kaspa might dip into this level of a support in here at 10 cents 2. And also we've got some fear. Okay, people are fearful. Okay, I believe that they are going to probably sell. Okay, make sure, guys, that you remember that this indicator in here is just a fear and greed index, but it's basically you know, almost perfectly illustrating of where to take out profits, okay, on pretty much every single time frame. Anyways, guys, let's come back to the liquidity heat map. Let's put 24 hourly, and right now let's try to determine of where Kaspa possibly could move towards to, right? Considering the fact that RSI is an overheated area, I would assume that we could collect this liquidity at 10 cents too. So let's come back in here to trading view, and as you guys see, this line in here is 10 cents too. Well, perfectly, and that also coincides with these levels in here as a support and resistance. We've got one level in here, as you can clearly see, ladies and gents. We've got, well, roughly in here, and of course we've got some confirmations in here as well, as you can see, right? Not mentioning about, you know, moving towards as you can see clearly in here, for instance, right? So I do believe that this is going to happen. Of course, I could be wrong. It's not a financial advice, guys. Please remember, I'm not a wizard. Nonetheless, guys, we've got what, 3% of a move if that is going to happen. And funny enough is that Kaspa will still, well, short term will still maintain a bullish outlook because it potentially gonna get supported by this level, and then, you know, let's say bounce, right? Obviously market makers have to make this market somehow, right? This is what I would probably do, right? Considering the fact that people are fearful now and they are selling, okay? And then obviously when, you know, market makers pumped this market, they sold it, right? Anyways, guys, remember that this market is always going, well, almost always pretty much going towards liquidity. Now, very important stuff, okay? So this trend line, this blue line, played trick with us again if it comes to BTC's dominance, right? However, let's see what's going to happen. Actually, let me switch it to daily, okay? Because that's obviously more important, okay? I want you to notice this, okay? Is that RSI in here on a daily is obviously not looking juicy, okay? I believe that we could see another push towards the upside and a little bit of a more pain for altcoins. Nonetheless, notice of what is happening on the weekly, okay? Now, if it comes to the weekly, if it comes to the stochastic RSI, we are almost stopping, okay? I don't know how much of pain we are going to see, okay? But remember that this green line is a historic level where pretty much BTC's dominance topped on a weekly, okay? So I do believe, even based on the technicals, despite all of the, the news that I've showed to you, I believe that we are going to see some relief rally for altcoins, and that actually could be a huge rally, okay? Now, USDT dominance, as you can see, similar thing on a weekly for USDT dominance, okay? We are already flattening, and let me put horizontal line in here, ladies and gents. As you can see, we are pretty much almost on the top. And now if I'm going to put others, right, others excluding top 10, they are pretty much on the bottom, okay? So of course we have to remember that this is an inverse correlation between these two. And at the same time, guys, if I'm going to switch it to the monthly $4 index, that thing, it's looking like it's topping, okay? So I do believe, based on the news and technicals, this is a recipe for hopefully something that we are waiting for such a long time. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this update. I hope that this helps, and as always, peace and love, crypto.